Manchester United legends are the biggest threat to Kobe Mainoo's career because in recent years, Manchester United legends have quietly killed some good players, good young guys that came out of Manchester United academy. They've killed their career. I'll be making mention of a lot of them in this video, so let's go. In recent years, Man U have had a lot of young guys that come out of the academy, but at the end of the day, they seem not to live up to their expectation. They seem not to, maximize that potential that everybody saw in them. I'll start from player like Adnan Januzaj. When Adnan Januzaj came in, Januzaj was a very very good player. He was up to the hype. He was playing. He was, in fact, in that year, I've forgotten the year. I think should be around 2014 or 15 or thereabout. It was very very good. It was the one pushing Man U and all that. But the hype got to him. He loses focus and his career get to die. Promptly he died. So again, Rashford came into limelight. He was scoring goal left and right, and even Rashford came in because our striker was injured and was not available. He came into the Europa League, unsure of what he could be able to do. I think he scored 2 goals in the next match against Arsenal. He came in, he scored 2 goals as well. So everything was booming for Rashford. But along the long run, this English press, which have almost majorly Manchester United legend in them, started overhyping them, putting pressure on the coach, and at the long run, before at the later end of his career, before Ten Hag left, he started having issue with Ten Hag and all that. At some point Ten Hag stopped using him, and when Amorim come in as well, the same thing happened. So those hype really hampered Rashford development. It really hampered his development. Another player I would like to talk about is Garnacho. Garnacho came out of the youth setup. He was a very decent average player. Garnacho was not up to the hype. He was hyped, to misbehaving. To the extent he started, liking. He liked a post that, posted that Ten Hag was sacked. He liked a post that criticized Amorim at the very early stage of Amorim. He wore a Rashford shirt that he was in when he was in Aston Villa. So all those things added up, and at the end of the day, he gets to leave Man U. But look at him today; he's not doing anything good or special in Chelsea that he is. Another player that I would like to talk about, even though he did not come out of Manchester Academy, was, yes, he came to Man U very very young, which is Sancho. When Sancho came, the hyping was extremely too much. The hyping was too much, and at the end of the day, the arrogancy, the hyping brought out the arrogancy in him. And one thing about this social media era is that with social media you get to feel like you are on top of the world. And one thing about football is that once you are not performing, you are not performing. So nobody cares about who you are. Your personality does not matter. What matters most is that you are performing. Another player is Anthony. When Anthony came in, he scored 1 or 2 goals. They started hyping him. Too much of hyping. Actually, I don't know. To be honest with you, I think Anthony is an average player. I don't know how Man U get to buy him at that kind of money. Another player was Højlund. When Højlund came, Højlund was not able to maximize his potential because as soon as he come in, he was a young guy. The hyping, everything was too much, and he gets to lose it. If you take a look at Kobe Mainoo today, yes, he was a very decent player against Man City, but he was not the best player on the pitch. Was not the best player on the pitch. So why the all of a sudden hype? This is what happened to him last season when he's not playing. That he started showing arrogance. Started showing arrogance to the extent that his brother have to wear the clothes that says Freeman, which is very very bad for a young guy that is just coming in. I mean, he's a good guy. He's very good. No hate. I don't hate. In fact, Mainoo is one of the players that I love most. But the fact is that it's not up to the hype right now. Man U legend needs to tone down the hyping and let this guy develop properly. Let's not forget that Kobe Mainoo is still very very young. Let not throw him under the bus with the overhyping and all that, because I feel like And one thing about this legend is that they tend to even add to the problem by also over criticizing their players. Look at what they did to Martinez. Look at what they did to Pogba. Look at what they did to a lot of players. Today you are hyping them. The next day you are criticizing them. Even critic is very, very good. It keeps players on check. But at the end of the day, the critic was extremely much that Martinez have to come out and talk that if you want to talk to me, if you want to tell me anything, you can come to my house, you can call me, talk to me. I mean, that is the highest respect that Martinez can give to them, because how will you be doing that in a derby day? In a derby day, you are doing that. And at the end of the day, if the guy failed to perform, you still come back to add to the injury, whereas you are the one that created it from the start. So I feel like Man U legends are not doing well. They are not really trying, because they also did it to Pogba, criticizing him all along every time. And this is what you don't see most of these legends of other teams talk. So I just hope they don't destroy Kobe Mainoo, because the noise around him this week is just too much. The noise around him this week is too much, and they need to tune it down.